Reaching a big milestone in another big year. Time just keeps on marching on, that is crystal clear. 23 full years of questing, no banks or deaths, I've got my tricks. RuneScape 3 Hardcore Ultimate Ironman, questing through 2006. Welcome back to November 6th, 2006. There's a new skill coming. But until I'm ready to jot down all the information about that and everything that's changed since, let's do a bit of thieving. There is 89 thieving. That is nothing at all. Getting some money here. Just absolutely beating up some Menifite thugs. Knocking them out, stealing from them. And I got a new method here that helps quite a bit. Full inventory. Stops the auto pickpocketing feature, which then gets you caught, more likely than not, when they're not unconscious. So this is all working out. And I filled the inventory by buying more beers. Working like a charm. And here is 90 thieving. Milestone, achievement, and quite a few unlocks. I'm just going to heal up full here, put my armor back on, drop all these beers. Don't need all these. Was doing a very good job of getting plenty of space. Well, that's something. But anyways, let's look at 90. Dwarf traders do not exist. Triple loot from paladins if we had 80 agility, and double loot from heroes if we had 80 agility, also don't exist yet. And we don't have the levels. So technically, we wouldn't be sort of cheating by getting the bonus loots, but these are not very good to try to pickpocket anyways, so not a problem. Ports Adventurer the Convict, very good, when that exists. Hidden Safes, level 90 version. No safes yet either. And no non-Dragonkin sabotaging siege engines. Also doesn't exist. Very high level here. We're kind of still at the point where very high level skills don't really have too many unlocks. There's certain things that do, like smithing all the way to 99 for all that stuff. Anyways, that is the third level 90 plus skill here. Joining woodcutting and cooking. So that's pretty good. Also, roughly 100,000 GP an hour. So that's okay. And 200 something-ish thousand XP per hour. So, reasonable training method. Reasonable profit. Definitely something we can do. And now that skill capes exist, getting to 99s has even more benefits than it used to have. So, that's fun. A good way to get some money. Levels, XP, and all that. Can't complain. And if we want to get more levels, the new skill is coming soon. But we have a few updates to deal with before we get there. Let's just head to the house here. On November 13th, 2006. More area guides in the knowledge base on the website. Stuff about Kandarin, Kramja, Void Knights. Information, stuff you can do there, people, histories, good stuff. The next player gallery, all the art that people are making, and then also wallpapers featuring concept art for the upgraded new sheep, imps, and spiders. People that can have banks get 24 more bank spaces, so that's great, because there's going to be many new items to put in there. Halloween is over. That event no longer accessible. Room pouches got their messages changed back. You can now drop them. There's no confirmation message. They just empty out and fall on the floor again. And third time's hopefully the charm here for switching to a staff. Should remember your combat settings for the other weapons and styles. Back and forth, back and forth. They're still trying. You and magic trees now regrow properly, the farmed versions. Whether they were coming back too quickly or not quickly enough is a question, but now they should be correct. You can bring your magic secateurs to Intrana via balloon, because they are allowed on Intrana, so that's nice. No longer allowed to drop torches in Trouble Brewing to give them to players on the other team so they can then light everything on fire. They have to bring their own torches. Very strange idea to do that. And noted items now get their black outline around the picture again to look more noted or something. Not too many noted items we deal with. Later we will. On November 20th, 2006, the Game World locations were renamed. Previously, it was a lot of different cities where the servers were actually at. But due to certain network pathways, the closest city didn't necessarily mean you would have the best connection. So in order to not sort of force people to go to specific ones that might not be the best, they've been renamed by country and then facility number. So you have like US East Coast 1 and US East Coast 2 because they're in different places. You got like Central and West Coast 1 and 2, UK, various countries in Europe, Australia, and also some worlds were moved to Finland. Still the same number of worlds, just moved around a little bit. Fundamentally, doesn't make a huge difference. Just more clarity, I suppose. And then, on November 21st, 2006, random events won't give you costume pieces if you already have them stored in your costume room, so you can't get all those duplicates for no reason. Metal Dragons had a graphical bug fixed where their chests would stretch very weirdly when they tried to breathe fire. You can't turn into a rock or an egg with the various transformation rings while you are pumping or pedaling at the blast furnace. That could have been some wild graphics, having an egg try to pedal a bike. That'd be weird. And there was also the Imp graphical update. More pressing than the spiders and sheep, as imps are going to be very relevant right now. And also 2 new fairy rings to go to new places for the hunter skill. The hunter skill is here. Always fun to get a new skill. And if we want to get started here, you should go to Narda or Yanil. Yanil definitely being the easier one to get to. Especially with this big old portal in the house. Very convenient. Want to go to Narda, we just go through the fairy rings. So it's not like it's too bad or anything. Doable. But it's also partially in the desert too, so it's a little bit annoying. One last thing to deal with. Just coming over here to Yanil. To the hunter shop. Because if we want to hunt some stuff, we need various supplies. Open the door here. And talk to Alec and Leon. Start with Alec. Hello. Looking a little raggedy, but also huntery. Hello, hello. And a most warm welcome to my Hunter Emporium. We have everything the discerning hunter could need. Would you like me to show you our range of equipment, or is there something specific you were after? Talking about the Hunter Emporium. Okay, let's see what you've got. And boy, does he got a lot of stuff, including a achievement or something. We've got butterfly nets and butterfly jars, magic boxes, noose wands, bird snares, box traps, teas and sticks, unlit torches. And not these other two. Those don't exist yet. All kinds of different levels and requirements. We're going to start off by just grabbing a few of the things here. Don't need to be lugging around everything the entire time here. We got a noose wand, a couple bird snares. They'll at least get us started here. Inventory space, definitely a thing to deal with. Yeah, we'll get a butterfly net too. Butterfly jar. And the rest of this is going to be later. And some very, very, very later. When we get to there. Nothing too expensive in here. So you can definitely get started nice and quick. Let us get started then. First thing we need to do, I think with all the running around, we might be better off stashing the armor. Because it is a little heavy. Rock shell in the armor case. Should be good. We've got space for it at least. So that's nice. Pass it. Oh, I need to take the legs off. That would help. Deposit the rock shell. Lovely stuff. Suppose we could also get another inventory space here by getting rid of the nature runes. Do something with those. Wouldn't be a bad plan by any means. Could go do a little bit of smithing or something. Not currently an issue. Yeah, the lunar staff is going to be quite helpful here for getting through the new fairy rings to places. Select our first destination. New location. Technically, the fairy ring isn't somewhere new. It's just nearby, and also a pretty convenient location. DKS. Never been here before, but now it exists, bringing us to right above the entrance to Kuldugrim. Up on the mountain here. And now we head north. Across this little bit of land here, up into the Polar Hunter area, where we got a lot of snowy guys. Yeah, all kinds of things that we don't quite have the level for yet. And we make our way up what used to be a staircase up to an upper level here. This area was all graphically reworked fairly recently. And all the way up here to get another achievement. And a hunting expert we can talk to. Hey there. Ah, this is a wonderful area for a spot of hunting, don't you think? I don't know, is it? Oh, absolutely. There's a huge variety of creatures to catch around here. You got butterflies, polar kebits, saber-toothed kebits, birds, skilled champas, and even kyats. Surely one of those pique your interest. We're specifically here to start with polar kebits. Funnily enough, you've just put your finger right on the problem. With polar kebits, finding them's the hardest part. You'll have to track them down. How would I go about doing that, then? Easiest way is looking for somewhere you're sure a kebbit will have been, then working from there. See the holes around here leading down to the ice? They're kebbit burrows. Hard pressed to catch a polar kebbit in its home. You search around the entrance to a burrow, and you might be able to find a trail. Kebbit trails are usually fairly easy to follow once you've found them. If the trail does peter out, you should try inspecting the surrounding scenery for clues as to where the creature may have gone. Your place to look include hollow logs, which may have been hidden, or vegetation which may have been chewed or damaged. Also tunnels through the ice, and you'll look through there too. Tunnels can also help to shelter the trail from further snow, making it even easier to pick it up again. Eventually, you'll have to have it probably hidden somewhere. Polar kebbits don't hang around open for long for fear of their natural predators. If you suspect a kebbit's close by, try looking around for signs of disturbed snow. Polar kebbits will often bury themselves in snowdrifts as a means of hiding. Think you've found a kebbit? Use a noose wand to haul the creature out from the snow. It's quite a lot to remember. Don't worry. If you find yourself struggling to follow a trail, just come and ask me and I'll see if I can help. But remember, the best place to start is by searching around their burrows. Great, thanks. Information. And Noose Wand. At level 1, there are 2 options. We're going to start here with Polar Kebits. Inspect the hole, and you find a trail. Goes through the log to the snowdrift. Search things, but find nothing. So you can look around in other places, like this tunnel here, where we see the tracks go through the tunnel. Another tunnel over on this side. We can catch a tunneling from there. And more tunnels somewhere here, perhaps. Want to look for more ways they could have went. I went to this section. Should be another tunnel here. Yep, up at the top here. The updated graphics are fancy, but also slightly less immediately obvious. Slooped around to the snowdrift, so we attack. Catch it with the noose. Kill it. And we get our rewards. Our first bit of hunter XP. Probably. Some raw beast meat, which you can technically use for food, kinda. Not very good or anything. Some bones we can bury for a tiniest amount of prayer XP. And Polar Kebit Fur. This can be used for various things. Or, well, technically various things. If you count 2 separate pieces of one thing, various things. Over in Varrock, you can bring a wide variety of hunter furs right over to the fancy dress shop. Previously had a store here with a few things. Make some stuff with him. Very fancy. Very cool. The fur shop of the fancy dress owner. Shop owner. Look like someone who goes to a lot of fancy dress parties. What are you saying? I'm saying perhaps you would like to pursue my selection of garments. Or if that doesn't interest you, maybe you have something else to offer. I was on the lookout for interesting or unusual new materials. Can you make something out of this fur that I got from hunting? Certainly. Take a look at my range of made-to-order items. If you supply the furs, I'll gladly make any of these for you. A whole variety of things. Polar Kebit Fur can be used to make the polar camo top and legs. Part of the wide selection of camouflage outfits, which may or may not do anything. They do more, maybe, in 2010 or something. The idea is wear the outfits to blend in better, catch more things faster, in theory. It's very bugged, doesn't do anything in old school. So whether or not any of these do anything is a question. There's all these different outfits for all the different places. So it's a lot of things to worry about. We're not going to worry about that. And also later, capes and gloves here. That's a whole separate thing. So instead of worrying about Kebit furs, making an outfit, we're going to go to the other option at level 1. Technically, if you were here on this day, ready to go do some hunter, you were going to be doing plenty of the Noose Wand tracking. Because the other option, not so great. I think it still would be quicker to just go to the house here, get back to the fairy rings, and go around again. Crowding is definitely a continuing problem at the start of new skills. Especially if there is situations where it is contested items. New places, new things. sometimes you gotta go for the path of less resistance. And that would be things where other people can't make it less convenient for you. Anyways, this fairy ring already existed down to the Philip Hills. But now, instead of just being over here with some chompies and rants and such, there's now, to the south, the Philip Hills Jungle Hunter area. A whole bunch of jungly stuff here. And a whole bunch of jungly things. Various things you'll be able to hunt, which we will get to later. For right now, since we're still level 1, we don't have a huge number of options. What we can do is go and hunt crimson swifts, birds along the beach, having a great time. Here we use a bird snare. Place the bird snare and wait for the birds to get in it. Various things you can do with the bird snares. Eventually you can like smoke them, and other traps have like bait you can use, which probably doesn't do anything, but anyways. Caught our first bird successfully. Just pluck it, get some XP, place another bird snare down. We get raw bird meat, which is just meat, but bird shaped. And also, colorful feathers. The colorful feathers just are feathers. Use them for fletching arrows and such. It doesn't change the color of the feathers on the arrows, so it doesn't actually change that or anything. It just works. That's alright. Can also be sold to the fancy dress guy for a few coins. Nothing super crazy. What they can't be used for is fly fishing, though. At least not these ones. Yeah, crimson swifts drop red feathers. So we can get them to not fail every time here. There is failure states for Hunter, where the creature does not get immediately caught in your trap, as you might think would be a thing. But yeah, when you got dozens of people all setting up their bird snares, all the birds getting caught, it's not ideal. Level 2 Hunter. That is nothing at all. Here's a bunch of other things that are level 1 Hunter later. Ain't that something? One thing we need to consider is the number of traps you can use. For now, we can only use 1 trap. And then we get additional traps every 20 levels. This was changed later, so we could technically be using 2 bird snares, then 3 at 30, and then 4 and 5 are still 60, 80. But not yet. Inventory management is definitely an entire thing with many forms of Hunter, because we just fill up with all this bird meat, which we really don't want. We just drop all that constantly. We could even drop the bones, but we're kind of just waiting around for the next birds anyways, so burying the bones isn't losing us any time or anything. Yeah. Regular old crimson swifts. Not super huge amounts of XP by any means, but it's a start. 3 Hunter. That is common kebits. Tracking. Very similar to the polar kebits. Only these ones are common and not polar. Same kind of idea though, just in a different location. We will get to all of the different Hunter locations as they become more relevant. Lots of things, lots of places. 4 Hunter. That is filled up weasel fur clothing. More outfits. more successful in certain locations, they say. Questionable. Felled up weasels. Don't even have the level to catch those. That's kind of a running theme with a lot of the outfits and other bits of clothing. The level required to use them is a bit lower than the level required to hunt the things to get the drops. So, kind of not really a thing for Ironman, at least. Not something we're too worried about. 5 Hunter. And that's a achievement here. Neat. That is a quest requirement. And new bird. Golden warblers. I'm gonna go to a new bird. New monster. Well, new animal, essentially. To go hunt. Higher level. Higher XP. And all that. But this also means going to a different location. At some stages, it's kind of worth just not moving around these lower levels. We also want to go and see all the different locations. So, it's kind of worth it. What's less worth it is the fact that this is out in the desert. So we kind of need protection from the desert. Back to the house then. I think we can probably just run there then. Since the glory teleport to Al-Kharid used to put you in the palace. Now for whatever reason goes to the Shente Pass. Probably because the lodestone's up near the palace now, so that's alright. But anyways, we don't need all of these. Guess we could technically go sell the feathers if we want to. We're not hurting for inventory space just yet though, so let's get some water skins here. And I guess since we're going to be in the desert for a little bit, let's get the desert clothes. Might as well. Would be helpful. Also, we have a slash weapon, slash knife, for getting all the good desert cactus juice. Also could be a thing. Anyways, out into the desert. Near Narda is a hunter area. Not as expansive as the jungle, or the polar, or the third one that we haven't went to yet. But a decent size, a few things going on. This is where we can find some golden warblers. Little bit of a line of hunter stuff in this general area. Place our trap, and hope for the best. These guys are yellow, so they're gonna have yellow feathers. Oh boy. More inventory space, more than anything. I was going to figure out a good spot to put them. Because all the other birds were just along the coast. These are just kind of around the area. They're kind of not paying attention right now. But anyways, we're going to hunt a little bit here, I suppose. 6 hunter. These do give more XP. They're also more spread out. Found a slightly better spot right here. Anyways, that's no unlocks whatsoever. Shame. 7 hunter. Now we can catch felled up weasels. If you want to go do the felled up weasel armor. Those are back in the jungle. Felled up. Yep. Tracking in general, not really the best for XP. 8 hunter. Also feeling like failed traps doesn't exist anymore. There's been some hunter reworks. Anyways, nothing at 8. 9 hunter. Now that is a new bird. Copper longtail. And that will bring us to a new place. This should be the last major new hunter area. There's still a few various hunter creatures in just singular locations by themselves. But for the most part, you'll find a lot of things in the general hunter areas, which does make sense, doesn't it? We need to go over near Piscatoris. Previously, the area was already there. There was nothing to do there. Now there's a way to get over here. AKQ. Fairy Ring. Unlocked to the Piscatoris Woodland Hunter area. Quite a few things here, like the other ones were. And there's our birds. Copper longtails. These ones are orange. Wow. 10 hunter. Milestone. Achievement. And that is a quest requirement. Desert Devil clothing, which we can't get yet. And Sleeping Elm Traps and Submastix hides in Damonheim, once that exists. The XP here is actually slightly less per bird, but they're all closer together so they come to the traps faster, so worth it. 11 hunter. That is another new bird. Cerulean Twitch. These ones are back out in the polar section, as you might expect, since they are blue. Got a whole color-coded thing going on here. It works. 12 hunter. These are more experience and still a good number of birds. As you might expect, higher levels, better training methods, sometimes at least. Nothing at level 12. 13 hunter. Just putting my trap in up before I look at the levels. More XP as we wait. Desert Devils. The next tracking guys out in the desert. And later, orange Subworth Moths. As for an entirely different thing. Entirely. 14 hunter. That is nothing. 15 hunter. That is a new hunter style. Butterfly netting, ruby harvests. Those are back in the Piscatoris section. Well, let's head over that way. It might be worth it to have multiple butterfly jars, but we'll see how we're feeling. Wielding our butterfly nets, here are the ruby harvests. They're actually larger than they originally were. That makes them a little more easy to click on. 24 XP, and then we get them in the jar. We failed that one. First time we failed. We've also been doing birds. That might just be the way that is. We can very quickly just move on to the next butterfly here. Do need to walk around a little bit though. Just swinging away with our butterfly net. Running all around the area. Catching butterflies. It's kind of the idea. Later on, there are more things that can help with this butterfly situation. Like better butterfly net, and being able to catch them even without a butterfly net. But that is not yet. Depending on how many swings it takes us to get the butterfly, could be better XP. If we had more butterfly jars, we could open them all in a group or something. I don't know if we're really going to do butterflies more than necessary. Maybe just a few levels here. Why not? 16 hunter. That is nothing. Getting a few levels with nothing in them. That's alright. We do need to keep emptying the jar here, though. 17 hunter. That is baby implings and barehand catching baby implings. 1, implings don't exist. 2, barehand catching doesn't exist. Those are actually 2 separate updates later. One thing to note is the ruby harvest here. With the butterfly jars, they actually do stuff. use your butterfly jar on someone else, and they get a helpful buff. This one would be an attack boost for giving them a butterfly. Sure. 18 Hunter. And that is nothing. 19 Hunter. That is Tropical Wagtails. Down back in the Jungle Hunter area. Another bird. This is reasonable XP, but all of the having to run around, constantly click on each one, empty the jar. Not ideal, I wouldn't say. So I think no more butterflies. We also need to consider that there is the whole hunter rebalance, so a lot of things give different XP than they used to. We can do with what we have here. So we can find these tropical wagtails. There's one. They are another kind of bird here. They are green. That is not the color of feathers that they drop. So we can get one of these here. Place our trap. And we still have never failed birds. I don't think that's a thing anymore. I don't know. These are, in fact, the final bird. So we've kind of graduated to the end of the line of this bit of hunter. Trap here for 170 XP. Yeah, that's an improvement. And stripy feathers. Very fancy. Unlike all the other feathers, which are just kind of useful for fletching, and that's pretty much it, stripy feathers can actually be used for fishing. Fly fishing. But instead of getting trout and salmon, you will get rainbow fish. Slightly better than salmon, not as good as a lobster, so not exactly good food by any means. XP is also not great, especially since you have to come here and hunt tropical wagtails first. You can't just go buy thousands and thousands of stripy feathers from a shop or anything. Don't think we're going to worry about that. Oh yeah. This is good XP, and then we just wait. Different intensities and all that. Works for me. And just a second after finished previous, with the amount of XP they give, there is directly level 20. Milestone. Achievement. Blood Spindle Trap in Daemonheim. Parametrics Hide in Daemonheim. That is not the unlock. What the unlock is 2 traps at the same time. Oh boy. So with this, well, there's always going to be one up that another bird can go fly into. This is also going to be helpful for later things. We can use multiple traps. There's many traps where you can only use one at a time, though, so what works here. This is very solid XP. Level 21. That is nothing. And already the next one's ready to go. 2 traps. Definitely helps quite a bit. Not like there's a huge number of spawns here, but it still gives them some extra time to get themselves trapped. Just like that. Just like that. 22 Hunter. Going so fast we need to be dropping all this bird meat more often. That is more implants that don't exist. This time, young. 23 Hunter. And that is Deadfall. The first Deadfall trap. We're going to go check that out, but we're definitely not going to be getting better XP there. Let's go get what we need for that. This is slightly different things. Deadfall traps. Made with a boulder. For the dead falling on them, the boulder is going to do. Need logs. So you're going to need an axe to chop the nearby trees. Then a knife to get it all in position here. Make a little stick for the wild kebbit to smack their face into and then get crushed to death. Let's get a nice zoom in on this. That one failed. This is making it even worse, comparatively. Place it up again. This is totally holding up this entire boulder here. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And distance-wise, smash. Can't go to multiple traps. Check the boulder here. And we get some kebbit claws. I'm trying to set multiple traps here. I have one here and then run all the way over here to set another one. But you can only have one deadfall trap at a time. It's kind of more of a you can lay a number of traps, which is very specific things. Anyways, kebbit claws. These are interesting. Add these onto your D'hide vambraces to make spiky vambraces, which adds a little bit of melee strength. And then, with evolution of combat and that not really being a thing you would want, it becomes range strength. Also a little bit of defense. Not that it matters too much. This kind of makes your vambraces a little bit stronger. But we have the full spine set, so not really a thing we need to worry about. Also, very obviously, this is wildly worse experience. We're not going to be doing this. Deadfall traps. Not anyone's favorite. 24 Hunter. Back at the birds. Now that is a lucky rabbit's foot, which doesn't exist. There's no rabbits yet to get the feet from. Well, there are technically rabbits. Not hunter rabbits, though. Soon. 25 Hunter. What is stuff we can see as it moves up the screen there? Sapphire Glacialis. New butterfly. Level 25. This one, if you use the butterfly on somebody, gives them a defense boost. Wow. 26 Hunter. That is another moth that doesn't exist. This time yellow. 27 Hunter. That is a quest requirement, which is going to be very soon, along with box traps, which technically we could use, but doesn't quite exist yet. Rabbit snares, also, no. And then all the things that go in these, like ferrets, geckos, raccoons, monkeys, rabbits, eagles, and cobalt skill champas. None of these exist. We got some pets with summoning, some things that are going to be sooner or later. But for right now, nothing. And while we do that, we get another immediate 340 experience from the birds that are already trapped. Wild. 28 Hunter. You can see all the levels just piling up here. And that is the gourmet implants that don't exist, and the Lurpia fur clothing that we can't get yet. 29 Hunter. And that is new things. Net traps for green salamanders. Also originally called swamp lizards. And also later net trapping squirrels. But let's go and check out net traps. For this we need small fishing nets and ropes. Another very inventory space intensive system here. I think we're going to go and sell off the feathers first. See if that works. Yep, it's just here in the fancy store where we can sell the feathers. 3, 4, 6. In theory, it could be the same in general stores. We'll just sell them here. Get a few coins for all our effort. We don't need these for making anything in particular. Yeah, we got We got 3.8k. That's not much. Another interesting thing with salamanders is that they are all out in their own little areas. The green / swamp lizards here are out in the swamp, as you might expect from the swamp lizard name. And just right here. There they are. For the net trap, go to a young tree, pull it down with the rope, put a net at the bottom, and live in your dream. Put that down, and the salamanders will walk into the trap. In theory. And success. Experience, not the best. Here's another achievement. Salamanders. These are a weapon. The wielded version does not look the same as the ones on the ground here. That's hilarious. Combine with some herb tar. Take swamp tar and put in low-level herbs like guam and such. Use that as ammo for the lizards here. And they can be used as all 3 combat styles by switching your attack style. At least they used to be. Now they're just a range weapon, so it's something. Very interesting. At least for right now, especially between the less experience and the whole thing here. How do we have more nets when we start? We had 3, that's right. So yeah, between the lower experience and the failing traps, this is definitely still worse XP. With how wildly wild the tropical wagtails are, I'm not sure when we're going to be switching around. Working with the new, seemingly kind of random XP rates. 30 Hunter. Milestone. Achievement. Unlocks? We'll see. 3 traps at a time. Wrong. 2 traps and Icometrix hides and Damon Hind doesn't exist yet. And scarab catching of gliding whirligigs also doesn't exist. So actually, no unlocks. Good level though. 31 Hunter. That is a pitfall trap for spined Larupias. We're gonna need some supplies for that. Definitely something to go check out. Pitfall traps, much like Deadfall, require logs. So, an axe, essentially. First one is the Larupias here, in the jungle. So what we want to do here is build a trap over a pit with our logs and knife, probably. And then, using a teasing stick, we tease the big spiky cats, then jump over the spiked pit and hope that they don't follow. But sometimes they do, and sometimes like 3 of them jump at the same time, and that looked like, that was weird. And then they get bored and stop chasing us. We poke them again. During this entire enterprise, you were getting chased and mauled a little bit. So, some food might not be a bad idea. For whatever reason, they keep on becoming unaggressive. So supposed to keep chasing you. I don't know. Fall in the hole. Come on. Teasing. Jumping. And then they keep jumping. Can't make them go over the same pit twice is the main thing. That's why 2 pits here. And finally they fail to realize what's going on. You can dismantle it and get yourself a fur. These are also used for making camo. This time we actually kind of care a little bit. Also big bones. That's something. So let us keep getting these in here. At least enough to get what we want. Also try to not get attacked so much. Would be great. Well, that seemed massively bugged. They kept on forgetting they were chasing me. Had to, like, let them hit you to keep aggro on them. First shop of the fancy dress owner here. Shop owner guy. Need to get a good hide for the hat. And then tabby ones are fine for the top and legs. Only a few coins here, too. Very good. A hat. A top. And some legs. And that is a full set of camo here. La Rupia camo. Works, probably, in jungle and woodland areas. Whether or not it actually helps too much, like more chance of catching things for things that can fail, I guess. Faster getting things to go in the traps, maybe. Maybe it does something. Maybe it does something. Anyways, we're going back to the tropical wagtails. Apparently they're just literally the best experience for a ludicrous amount of time here. The changes to the hunter skill, somewhat poorly thought out. 32 hunter. That is nothing. 33 hunter. Deadfall. Not good. Barbed tail kibitz. Eh. Barbed tails of the barbed tail kibitz are wieldable harpoons, which is interesting. Kind of fun for shark fishing, if we could actually save an inventory space with that by having the inventory full of just sharks that we fished. But that would just mean equipping a barbed tail harpoon instead of a weapon. So not actually an inventory save for us, for if we have any weapons in our possession at that time. But yeah. Deadfalls. Not good experience whatsoever. Tropical wagtails. Apparently the best. 34 hunter. That is nothing at all. 35 hunter. That is a quest requirement. And also snowy night butterflies. The next butterfly. Catch these. And also the previous one. Snowy skies. Up in the polar area. This one, if you use the butterfly on somebody, is a small heal. 36 hunter. That is another impling. That does not exist. Earth. Implings are pretty interesting. Be some good stuff later on, maybe. We will see. Don't really have a specific hunter goal currently. Just kind of getting levels for right now. But definitely implings will be a goal for the future, potentially. We will see. 37 hunter. That is deadfall trapping prickly kibitz. Those are slightly interesting because they drop a new kind of thing. They drop kibit spikes, which you can bring over to Yanil and turn into kibit bolts for the hunter crossbow. Now we don't really need or want that at all. Kibit bolts, hunter crossbow, low level range, and ammo is still a problem. I don't even think these would worry for that? Later. Ammo for range is definitely a whole thing. If we wanted to range, we would really need to just go and get another crystal bow. It would be actually a reasonably good weapon. But anyways, if we were wanting to go deadfall, which we don't, we get the prickly kebbit stuff, bring them over to Leon here. He's got a crossbow. The hunter crossbow. Okay, we go with your crossbow. I'm afraid, with it being a prototype, I've only got a few for my own testing purposes. Of course, with the right price, it might be worth my while to make another prototype. How much? To you, 1,300 gold pieces. Does it use normal crossbow bolts? Ah, I mean, as a result of its, unique construction, it won't take just any old bolts. You can supply materials, and for a token fee, happy to make some for you. What materials do you need? Kebbit spikes. Lots of them. Not all kebbits have spikes, mind you. You need to look for prickly kebbits, or even better, razor-backed kebbits, to get material hard enough. And he's got... Let's see what you can make then. Kebbit bolts. They are... ranged damage 2. They're not good. Not good at all. Also cost money per spikes to make them into things. Just not very good. Hunter crossbow was an interesting weapon. Technically faster than other crossbows. So, not terrible. It is for us though. Not gonna worry about that. While we're here, we are going to get another bird snare though. Because we're getting close to the level where we could use another one. And that would be nice to have. 38. Hunter. That is Grack hide clothing, which we can't get yet. There's kind of a market idea with this. You get the level to use the stuff, and then people with higher levels could have made it and sell it to you, I guess. But you just get so many of the hides, it quickly just becomes saturated and not really worth anything anyways. Whatever. 39 Hunter. That is using smoke to mask the scent on a trap, which may or may not do anything. Wimpy birds from a quest, and the green moths that don't exist yet. We are not going to smoke any traps. No thanks. 40 Hunter. Milestone. Achievement. Unlocks. Good stuff. And that is spotted capes, which we can't get yet. Spine beam traps and Dromassic hides in Damonheim, which doesn't exist. Base camp with the Hunter Lodge, tier 1, doesn't exist. What we do get is the ability to use 3 traps. You know, one here with birds, another one over here. Need to wait a little bit longer for it to actually be put down. Kind of want them near the spawn points, in theory. Just go around this tree. Around the birds, give them more opportunities to get trapped. Should be pretty good. Increase the XP per hour. Slightly. That's kind of the dream. 41 Hunter. The new 3 trap system here is doing quite nicely. Catching more birds, running around, getting XP, having a good time. That's a cool ass requirement. And horned gracks. New pitfall. That is the desert, guys. So we can quickly run over there. See where the gracks live. Right in the fairy ring. Super convenient. Always a good time. Not going to hunt them or anything. There's no real reason to. Don't really need their outfit. And technically, we can store the Rupia stuff in the house, so. And that's the last one we can store in the current system. The furniture that we have there. Gonna need to level that up at some point. Anyways, Grax are another one of the things that are out in their own little area here. Down here in Cramcha. Horned Grax. Pits here, chop the trees, have a good time. Terrible XP. Don't need the outfit. Birds. 42 Hunter. That is Essence and Flings. Next one on that list don't exist. 43 Hunter. That is a new hunter method. Falconry. And the Spotted Kebbit. We can go over and do some falconry. Sounds fun. Checking out all the different methods that are available. Even if most of them are not good, never were good, no longer are good. Very weird. Anyways. Fairy ring access between all the different locations really is quite nice. We head back over to the Piscatoris Hunter area. And over to the Gated Inn area. Near the coast here. Also, there'd be like the endless void on sides of various hunter spots here. Eventually, all the edges of the world became not edges. Like, there's ocean before you get there. Anyways, climb over these still again. Gives agility XP for no reason. Falconry with Matthias here. Hello there. Greetings. Can I help you at all? What is this place? A good question, straight and to the point. My name is Matthias. I'm a falconer. This is where I train my birds. Sounds fun. Could I have a go? Training falcons is a lot of work, and I doubt you're up to the task. However, I suppose I could let you try hunting with one. I have some tamer birds that I occasionally lend to rich noblemen who consider a sufficiently refined sport for their tastes. And you look like the kind who might appreciate a good hunt. I have to request a small fee, mind you. How does 500 gold pieces sound? Well, that seems reasonable. Falconer gives you a large leather glove and brings one of the smaller birds over to land on it. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you and make sure you don't upset it too much. Falconry. We got a falcon. Look at us go. And then, just go over to the specific kebbits here. Spotted Kebbit. You launch the falcon, and sometimes it catches it. Sometimes it doesn't. Then you retrieve the falcon, get your bones and furs. Spotted Kebbit fur is the lowest level one here. Can be brought to the fancy dress shop owner and turned into a spotted cape, which gives a little bit of weight reduction. So that's nice. Also, experience is terrible. Can be pretty quick, moving between them. But you can also miss a whole bunch of times in a row, so definitely something here. More click intensive, more things to drop. Once again, better to just go back to the birds. And we can bring the bird back here. Hello again. Ah, you're back. How are you getting along with him then? It's certainly harder than it looks. Sorry, but I was talking to the falcon, not you. But yes, it is. Have you had enough yet? I think I'll leave it for now. Give the falcon back to Matthias. Alright. Falconry. Was reasonable. XP changes. No good. 44 Hunter. That is nothing. Also a fun thing to note, that was 1750 total level. Also including the skills that still don't exist though, so close enough. 45 Hunter. Inventory is very full of bird meat right now. That is a quest requirement. Penguins, related to said quest. And the last butterfly, the Black Warlock. Give people a Black Warlock butterfly from your jar, and they get a strength boost. Yeah. 46 Hunter. That is a quest requirement. And Viridian Skill Champas, which do not exist yet. No Skill Champas exist. We're still trying to get towards where the other Champas are. Eventually here. 47 Hunter. Orange Salamanders. These are over in the desert section. Give a lot more XP than the swamp lizards did, but still not enough to justify the nets and ropes and running around and failing the traps and everything. Just not ideal. Slightly higher level salamander weapon. Again, still not useful though. Especially since getting the ammunition of the herb tar is just not really a good time. I'm not going to worry about that. 48 Hunter. That is a whole pile of stuff. Quest requirement. And during that quest, diseased kebits and platypuses. This is actually one of the quests that's on our list of new highest level requirements for quests. First one was at 27. So yeah, gets us a little further down the list. Anytime when there's a new quest that requires a lower level than the previous quest, kind of don't need to worry about that. So that's nice. 49 Hunter. There are the razor-backed kebits. A throwback to the tracking, which hasn't been anything since level 14 for that. But yeah. Get those. Get the long kebit spikes for the hunter crossbow. Still not good. And tracking is also quite slow. So, no. 50 Hunter. Milestone achievements. Good stuff. That is later on. Sacred Clay Butterfly Net, Volatile Butterfly Net, Penguins, Eclectic Implings, Barehanded Eclectic Implings, Boa Strangler Traps, Spidomastix Hides, and Swift Whirligigs. All these things at level 50. We get none of them. 51 Hunter. That is a quest requirement. The next one on the list, also. And Deadfall Sabertooth Kebits. And later Penguins. The Sabertooth Kebits in the Deadfall. Horrible time. You can get some stuff from them. Kebit teeth, specifically. Grind it up. Add it to an Avanto potion. You got yourself a Hunter potion. For all your boosting Hunter to hunt some stuff, I guess. Another thing that's more useful when implings are a thing. But anyways, don't need any Hunter potions. 52 Hunter. That is Kayak clothing, which we can't use yet because we can't get it. And the blue moths later. So many colors of things. 53 Hunter. That is box trapping Chinchampas. Technically unlocking box trapping here, since the other thing that you could box trap doesn't exist yet. And so, once we've unlocked a new hunter method, we're gonna go check it out. Fundamentally, box traps are pretty much the same as bird snares. You place the thing, and then things go into the thing. Gray, regular old Chinchampas here. I also placed 3 traps. Unfortunately, they can deactivate them. Unlike the birds, apparently. So we just need to reset them over and over again. Apparently also get some token XP for the resetting. Wild. Real question is, how much do we get for actually succeeding here? Birds always succeed are 170 XP. Chinchompas are 198 and sometimes fail. Alright, so similar, but the failure definitely brings it down. A little bit more spread out, it seems. Probably find a better spot for them. Anyways, Chinchompas are ranged weapons, and they hit with an area of effect up to 9 enemies in a square. 3x3 kind of whole deal. You just throw them, and they explode. Which is definitely something. We threw them and made them explode on themselves. Wild. Don't think we really want Chinchompas. Especially these ones, they are not good ranged weapons at all. And actual spots where chinning is viable, slightly less so these days. Once again, if we really want to do ranged, we'd probably just go get a crystal bow. But anyways, that's pretty much the last type of hunter. There's also technically magic boxes, which are just boxes, but slightly different again. Well, that's not until 71, so that's a little bit. For now, that's enough hunter. I mean, I might do a few more levels before the quest next time, because it is, again, hunter related. Getting really into the hunter. 2 updates in a row. Lovely stuff. Anyways, higher than rune crafting. That accomplished that goal. If we could use Tears of Guthix, I totally would. Man, that would have been great. All these months and months and months, every week, putting XP into rune crafting, herb lore, farming, would be great. Can't, though, because of all these other skills that don't exist yet. Oh well. We will do what we can with what we got here. And what we have now is 53 more levels than we had previously. So, pretty solid. Total levels. They really climb when we get a new skill. Well, that's always fun. We got 6 more in the future. We will see how those go. Much later. We got more hunter-related shenanigans to deal with. Next time. Goodbye.